you're in the season in your life right now where everything feels like still nothing is happening, but everything is happening. There's this undeniable truth, pulse you feel underneath all the layers. Like you know that you're in the biggest leap transformation portal of your life, and at the same time, everything is pretty quiet. I'm connecting with someone who deeply knows, but not just knows, who is ready and has been prepping behind the scenes, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, for something really profound to land in their life. Is it you? Let me know below. There is something that is really coming to your awareness right now that everything, even though it can look the same, but it's not the same. Like, I feel for you, there's something moving behind the scenes because there's something about you that is moving behind the scenes. Like, you're someone who doesn't like to announce their moves. You're someone who knows to keep your cards close. You're someone who's preparing for a whole new rebirth portal. Wow. Ooh, I'm feeling this kind of like tense as well as freeing energy in you, which tells me that you're someone who's been anticipating this transformation, whether it is in your lifestyle, your career. I'm also hearing move, like actual physical move. So you might be moving homes, houses, locations, stuff like that. I'm hearing something about office. There's something about you can be moving and rethinking office or work. Um, your relationship, your family life, your love life, there is something that is undeniable at this point where you know that the old life is just not fitting. Okay? I feel like there's this there's this silence, just called to just have like a breath moment. I feel like there's this resting, oh yeah, that's it, a resting moment in your life as you getting the clarity. I'm hearing the word clarity. There's some clarity that you are compiling. And when this, happens, it means that there's something that you are psychologically completing. So for the longest time in your life, you're like seeing certain patterns playing out in different body vessels. So maybe, you can be dating the same person and you're seeing the same thing, or you could be starting this business and that business and you're facing the same roadblock. So there's something that you're seeing, okay? So that's pattern recognition. So I feel like there's a period in your life prior to you connecting with this frequency right now, because, frequencies don't miss who is meant to connect with. There's this energy where you have been seeing certain pattern recognition. This can be huge. Can be about family, can be inner child, can be the way how you sabotage yourself, your relationship, could be the way that you block yourself, hold yourself back from fully expression, from your full expression, or the way that you express yourself in this 3D, in your authority, right, in your light leadership. So after that, you're going to be able to see and go deeper into it. Hence why you can be experiencing kind of like a reclusive, phase in your life where you're not talking to so many people, you're not going out as often, you're not doing, the most right now. And what this season is, even though it seems like, oh my God, no one reaches out to me, no one cares, or do they? Or sometimes you have, your good friends and whatnot, your family, but it feels a little, can be lonely or can be quite quiet. And this is the season where your psyche is being rearranged to a more true, more pure, more healthy way for you to operate. Because clearly the pattern recognition allow you to see, okay, I need to go deeper into healing this mother-father wound. I need to really take time to get the clarity. I'm really seeing the word clarity, underline, of what I really want. I feel like um I'm smiling and I'm really feeling happy, and and that means that you're getting there. Like you're feeling you're making progress. So congratulations. You're making real progress in going towards the place that you're like, I know this is my true place, my true happy place. This can be, a thing where when we live life and we have this, oh, society tells me this is how I should be when I'm happy. My mom tells me, when I marry this guy, this girl, have kids, this, and my life will be perfect. My dad tells me, if I make it to 1 million or whatever, I will be happy. And maybe you can be someone who's been there, done that. You know, you can be someone who have tried the things, experienced certain successes. I'm hearing career successes, material successes. You can be someone who has received that authority, that respect, that validation, that award, whatever. And it's not really like, it's not doing it for you. It's like, it's not hitting the spot for you. And this is the time where you're getting really honest. Okay, some of you guys can be into journaling right now, having certain private convos with ChatGPT and maybe your therapist or whatnot, or yourself. You can be going really deep in this whole like self-inquiry path to uncover what it is that is untangled. Okay, I'm seeing some like wires is being it's tangled in your head, in your brain, and now you're untangling it. And that's because deep inside of you, you're always someone who's capable, and you know that you're someone who's always meant to be in authority, leadership. You can be an author, you can be a natural leader, you can be someone who's meant for the spotlight. Like it's something that you deeply know. Okay, let me know down below if you know. Give this a like or drop me a pink heart. There's something in you that you deeply know that you're here to be serving in a big way in this lifetime. And I don't mean big way in terms of numbers, although for most of you it will mean numbers. The more lives you serve, the more, visible, whatever you have. But more than that, it's just in a big way mean you're not hiding anymore. Maybe you're really talented in, I don't know, being a florist, or maybe you're very talented like fashion designer, or you're a very talented healer. And because of certain upbringing, traumas, insecurity, passed down, tangled wiring in your brain, you're like, oh, I can't do that. My family would not approve of me doing these, witchy things. My friends would, judge me if I start talking about what I really want to talk about. And they're going to get this new weird, feral version of me, and not the, nice girl, nice guy, polite, whatever, cute bunny that they are familiar with. So there's something about, you not wanting to rock the boat, but at this time, this phase of you really sitting with yourself, like I'm really seeing someone like really like deep breath in, deep breath out with a pen, paper, or notebook, could be like a cute candle or something. And you're really getting clear, like getting clear on what you want, getting clear on who you are, getting clear on all the aspects, maybe what you want in your life partner, what you want in your dream life, where do you actually want to be if you could choose? Okay. And that's something I'm going to encourage you to do, get clear, like, what do I really want? And this is the phase where a lot of people will find it very frustrating. When I work with people who are in this phase, sometimes I call it the void, the identity void space. And it's very difficult. And a lot of people kind of see me during this time, because navigating this mysterious void brings up so much. Like you clearly see there's something that is not working, and that doesn't even come from you. It comes from whether it's past life or passed on from your parents, right, and your upbringing, from your past. And at the same time, you're like, well, I don't know where to go next, because everything I thought I knew about myself, making this kind of money, being this 9 to 5 person, being this, whatever successful, seemingly whatever person, like none of it doesn't want to stick. It wants to fall off. And usually what I work through with my clients during this time, because I work with people who, Silicon Valley CEO, like people who are like really known in their industry, like top engineers, people who are expert in their whatever, what do you call it? It's not psycho, what is it called? Psychology, professional practice, and then they're moving to a more holistic and more spiritual sense. And what we really focus on is really removing all these adulty type of expectation, because a lot of these things actually comes from family. And it's so interesting. It's like, actually my mom wants me to be this, professional engineer, Silicon Valley person. My family worked so hard for me to immigrate to Canada or the US so that I can have this professional career as a doctor, as a lawyer, as a, whatever person, nurse, I don't know. And then, but my true self is actually wants to play, wants to go on an adventure, wants to ride that motorcycle, wants to, explore the world, wants to, surf the waves, want to jump off the plane, and, all of that. So that all of this, when we work together, we uncover this excitement and joy. And at the same time, it's like, whoa, this is so irresponsible. It's so irresponsible for me to just want to have fun and want it to be happy and want it to be joyous for me. And then there it is. That's the programming. And the programming is you have to think about what everyone else wants, even if they want the best for you. And at some level, you agree. A stable income, a proper, home, whatever life, a proper house, a proper, car or whatever, right? But at the same time, you know that something is not hitting 100%. And that's when we get into this joy. And joy is not like a kid selfish thing. Although when you begin to focus on yourself for the first time ever, it's going to feel selfish because you have been living life caring about what people think and their opinion, your mom and your dad, and you love them. You don't want to disappoint them. So the thing we go into is uncovering what brings you joy, not just happiness and joy are actually quite different. What makes me happy usually is something that can be more temporary than what brings me joy, because joy is your being. It's your inner sun, it's your Christ consciousness, it's your I am consciousness. What brings me joy? And what brings you joy is really silly. It's really simple. It's like, touching the dirt, like the fresh dirt at 5 a.m. when it's still moist and the earthy scent or whatever it is, okay? If you connect with nature, like it's something that can be a bit strange, a bit weird to admit. It's not something you even talk about. It's just something that you feel more full bodied, okay? Listen to the words I'm saying. Full bodied, and you feel like you are a whole person, fully alive when you're doing that. And when I work with my clients who are, ex-professional, top dog, whatever people, and when I get them to drop the mask, okay, and strip down, baby, to your soul, to their soul, that is their joy energy, that's their sun energy, because soul is not SOUL, okay, soul, and you cannot really connect with that. But soul, when you take out the U, okay, the condition U, it's just SOL, the sun energy, your innocence, your joy, who you are, who you were before the world tells you who to be. And that's the energy that awakens inspiration. Okay, what's inspiration? In spirit. That connects you with your Christ consciousness, the oneness, the only consciousness of this world, source consciousness that flows through you. All ideas and all inventions and all greatness and all life comes from consciousness. Without consciousness, we flop on the floor and you think this is you, your body, your name. You can't even take that with you when you're in your true self and you're in spirit. So the most creative people will learn how to connect with their inner child. So this is the thing, when we go deeper into the layers, the aha moment comes from, I've been neglecting my inner child. I've been neglecting who I really am and trading myself for a great mask, to be this person, to look good in society, to please my parents. And this can be very unconscious. Some of you guys can be conscious about it. Some is very unconscious. Where you want to be, who you want to marry, what kind of accomplishment you think that you're doing it for you. But it's actually, if you really sit with yourself in stillness, you will realize the first thing I see is I want to see my mom happy. I want to see my mom smiling, telling me that I'm a good son, I'm a good daughter. I wanted my dad to finally fist pump me, saying, good job, son. Maybe it's just a good job. You're doing so good. So when we begin to peel off the layer, and that's when the intricacy of not fully inhabiting in your energy, living as your Christ consciousness, your God essence, your inner child being all the way cranked up, it will always make you a little bit sad, or a lot sad in this society. Every other person has some kind of, mental illness, right? And this is not like a judgment thing. It's you have to realize that it wasn't a thing back in the days when we are more, when we're more outside naturally. Now we have to go outside deliberately because we're on our phone too much. Before it was just like, you have your, like the phone, you can even do the internet things. You have to pay per minute or something. And before texting and voice, whatever it was a thing, you had to do, the 1, 2, 3, and then you have to find the letters. You have to click it 3 times. Like technology was just like a small portion of how we live. But now it was just like, it's really taking over, and we have to find our humanity again. We have to find how to be social again. We have to find how to, what brings us joy outside of posting on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and whatever, you know what I mean? So you can be at this phase in your life where a lot of these things are really coming up, and it can feel like an existential crisis or midlife crisis. Okay, let me know down below. Give me this emoji, okay, to signal a secret code that, like, am I having a midlife crisis? Am I, whatever. In truth, you're going through a spiritual awakening and a spiritual purification. And the spiritual purification asks you to literally burn down all the false mask and the false responsibility and the roles that you play, to begin to illuminate who you really are at a core level, as a soul level. Because sure, you can be good at accounting. Sure, you can be good at teaching. Sure, you can be good at, nursing people, website, whatever. But what is your soul? What's your soul saying? Your inner sun, your childlike energy is all connected, it's all linked. You cannot connect to your soul as some serious, chant thing. You can't do that. You can only connect to your soul through your inner child. So the work of healing your inner child, of connecting and speaking and loving your inner child and letting him or her out to play is huge on this journey. Your solar plexus energy, the sun energy, what brings you life, what makes you feel vital. Because there's a difference, right, between living, going through life versus thriving, excited, being lit up by light, by the sun, by life. And that is the energy that really, get rid of all these like illnesses and all of these mismatches in your life. So if you're going through this phase right now of reconnecting with your joy, what I would, say is really take your time with it. Because if you're not used to connecting with this, and I always tell my clients, like, you're always going to see the first layer. Maybe the first layer is like, oh my God, I don't go to concerts anymore. I don't even go to the gym anymore. I don't paint anymore. So that can be the first layer, right? Do that. Okay, allowing that to take you to the concerts, to the cooking classes, to the travels, to the painting, to even watching movies, whatever it is. But then there's going to be another layer after that. And that layer that's the delicate layer. The delicate layer is that you're going to meet that sad inner child in you. And this is when the traumas of the past life can, I don't want to say the past life, I mean the past, your past identity, your upbringing, mom, dad, whatever, family stuff, it can be brought up because it was never fully resolved. And what is never truly resolved will live within you. And that is the conditioning, that is a fear of doubt, of scarcity, of, protecting your light. So that's why, as much as you are a warm and bright and loving, friendly person, you're going to find like, okay, I need to hold back, stranger danger, and it blocks you from even being seen, being visible, right? Being your full authentic self. If you're a creator, right? If you're a business owner, maybe you have this amazing idea and you're like, oh no, we need to, stick with what we know or what the people want, and we ignore what we want. So there's a lot of these things that literally blocks you from living your fully embodied life, because all possibilities exist already, okay, in the world, in your world. But because you don't allow yourself to experience that, you don't allow yourself to experience a 10 out of 10 partner because you think it was too much. Is something like that too much to experience because you grew up with parents who didn't want to play their roles, who were, not the best parents for you in your opinions or whatever it is, right? And then you're like, well, if my parents can't even love me, can't even be there for me, how can I expect a partner to be that for me? And then you get into this whole, pessimistic thinking of maybe I just need to settle for someone with a proper career, proper money, or I need to just settle for someone who, just enjoys being with me and they don't have to like go over the top or anything, just keep it basic. Or like, oh, I'm happy with just making this much money in my, business, and just to get by, I'll just cut hair and do lashes on the side or whatever. But I'm just going to ignore what I really want. What I really want is to, I don't know, travel the world and surf and, bike and do marathons. I don't know, whatever you're into, right? All of this are pathways for you to become alive again. So what I'll encourage is that stop thinking that it's a be all end all. Like, oh, I need to be a painter now because I miss painting, or I need to be a, whatever person because I miss that. Allowing yourself to do the things without attachments to it, because the step 1 is going to lead to the step 2, it's going to lead to the step 3, it's going to lead to the step 4. And then once you go underneath all these layers, you're going to realize something actually really profound. And that profound thing is that you were always perfect, whole, divine. There was never anything wrong with you. So it actually doesn't even matter what you do. You can still be a doctor. You can still be an accountant. You can still be a hairdresser. But as long as your heart is in it, your soul is aligned, your joy is expressed, you could be anything, you know? And that's something that in this life, if we have the privilege to experience and live as our true self, that's all we can ask for, you know? And maybe your true self doesn't care about so much about money or status or nice houses or whatever, you know? But then also, maybe your true self does care about playing, you know, with your creativity and really care about making it big, you know, and in your field of genius. Maybe your true self really does want to live in a really nice, beautiful, lit, you know, penthouse because it really brings yourself joy. Maybe your true self does really love playing dress up and having this, you know, closet space with all your favorite bags and shoes and whatnot. And that's the trap of spirituality that sometimes it also blocks you. I'm not going to go into this in this video, but watch my previous videos to go deeper. That the spiritual trap is like, oh, well, I don't want money now. I don't want status now. I don't want to think now. But is it true? Some of you guys, it can be true. But who are you to impose that on other people? Some people are really good at making money, and that's like their passion, their joy, and they teach other people about it. Like, don't you appreciate someone who can teach you to make more money? Because if that person isn't passionate about making money, they cannot teach you that. And then you will never learn. You know what I'm saying? So you have to allow people to be, because not everyone's here to be like you, and you're not here to be like everyone. And once you have that clarity, and it takes a very wise person to understand this deeply and allowing people to be as who they are, because we're here in this dance of creation, co-creation. If everyone I expect to be like me, then everyone's going to have a YouTube channel and talk and do this and do that, and no one would do the other roles, you know, like making YouTube a platform, designing, engineering, right? And even watching, you know, some people enjoy certain things. So you have to allow yourself to just be in your truest, purest joy and express that. Because if you have that desire to express, someone has that desire to receive it from you. Okay, so let that marinate in. Let me know down below what comes up for you. Subscribe to the channel, because this is what we do, is what we're about over here, to go deep, to give you that clarity. If you're ready to meet with me one-on-one, I'd love to meet with you down below. This is Tina Wong. I love you so much, and here's the next video for you.